Hi everyone, Sherry from Granny's Sewing Room. Stopping in to let you know what I'm up to today and kind of tell you my biggest mistake on the quilt I made. I'll start with the quilt. I did not want to pick out all them half square triangles, but as I was trying to put them together to make the squares, and then you put 4 of them together to make the large square, it wasn't working out. So back to the drawing board. If this quilt turns out, I'm going to be amazed. This is what it's supposed to look like. And that wasn't what it was going to look like. So I go back and read, and I thought I was supposed to sew on the right hand side. No, you're supposed to open it up, and the background fabric is supposed to be on the right hand side after you sew it together. So I did not want to pick them all out. I was just going to change the design of the quilt, because we all know that you can make several designs out of a quilt block. But after sleeping on it, waking up the next morning, I just couldn't do it. I wanted to make that quilt. So I picked them all out, spent 3 days, the better part of 3 days, and last night picking these out. And now I've got them sewn right. So I will be sewing them on the large triangles. And this is how they're supposed to look once they're sewn together. So I will be working on that, probably not today. I kind of need a break from that. Now my chickens are doing real good. They are laying quite a few eggs. You know, the soft shells have kind of stopped for a while. They start up doing a couple soft shells, and then they go back to laying like 5 eggs a day. And I'll show you a picture of my eggs that I've collected for the last week and a half maybe. I was watching Joy Bernhardt's video last night, and she's going to look at a 10 needle embroidery thread. I have a 10 needle, and it's a Babylock. I love it, Joy. I just love it. Because I bought mine because I was embroidering for people. And the single needle I had was just taking too much time and breaking my shoulders down threading. You know, I have problems. But anyway, but my very first suggestion, Joy, is if you get a 10 needle, you get your designs, and it's already loaded with some designs, but we never end up using the designs that are on the machine. So if you get the 10 needle, you will probably need software, and I do the software you can download, and it's very inexpensive. It's called Sew What Pro. And you can manipulate your designs. You can write, you know, put wording on your designs. Sew What Pro, easy to learn and very quick. And then you transfer your design on a thumb drive. And then, of course, you put this into your machine. Well, I didn't want to keep putting it in and out of my machine, that it could ruin my machine. So what I did, and I'll take the camera off the tripod just a moment. So what I did, I have like an extension cord, and I plug my USB thumb drive right into this, and it just stays plugged into the side of my machine. So I am not taking this in and out, and eventually wear my machine out here on this, I think it's called a tablet. But that's how I do mine. So I just leave this extension cord plugged in all the time, and then I transfer my designs back and forth with my thumb drive. And that's very helpful. I didn't think that I would ever put a needle through my finger, and I did, right through the nail and the finger. And what happened is, we're so used to putting our hands around the needle and stuff, but the arm moves. And what my hand was in there, and when the arm moved, I didn't realize my hand was moving with that arm. And I thought the needle jumped out at me. But actually, it's because the arm moves and my hand was too close, and boop, the needle went right through my hand or finger and broke off. I shut it off, but I think it shuts off by itself, but I don't want to find out again. But I get a chopstick. And I use that chopstick to get close in there because that arm is moving so fast. I mean, it was a blink of the eye. I had to take myself to the emergency room to get that needle out of my finger. So that's very important. Get a chopstick. Another thing that's really helpful, Joy, is the frames that come with these machines are really, to me, useless. I don't use them unless I'm doing an in the hoop project. But if you plan on doing like t-shirts or Christmas stockings or anything that you need to get in and under the arm to embroidery, you're going to have to get different hoops. What I ended up getting, and it was the least expensive because they have the Mighty hoops because they're magnetized. They have the Durkee, I think Durkee hoops work on this. But those are 500 and more, those hoops. I ended up getting the fast frame hoop. And let's see if I can, fast frame. And this arm right here just fits right on to my machine. And see, and I can put my t-shirts, my purses, my Christmas stockings, because they come in different size. There's for a 6-thread or 6-needle machine and a 10-needle machine. But it's so much easier to do t-shirts, purses, stockings. But what you do is, let me see if I can do this. Here is my t-shirt, and of course I will mark the design on here where I want it. And then I just take my fast frame after I put the stabilizer on it, and I get it up in there and I hook it back onto that arm, and it fits right under like this. I will get a close-up so you can see it. But the fast frames were like $179, $200 versus $5 and up for each frame. I mean, some of them I guess were cheaper. The ones I looked at I was looking at $500. And so with the fast frame, what you use to hook on the paper tearaway, I use this thing, and it's in the office supply, and it puts it's to keep, well, you work in an office, you'd probably know, so I don't know what you call it. Let's see, I don't see a name on it. Super clip, but it just comes out, and you fold your, and I'll do a close-up of this. You fold your tearaway, paper tearaway around your hoop, and then you put these little clips on it to hold it down. And then after I do that, I have the center marked out with a ruler. 505 spray. And then of course you already have your t-shirt. You know, I fold mine, give it a little press so I know the center and mark down where you want your design to be. And I use them friction pans to make a little mark and get it on my machine. My machine, I wanted an upgrade, so I had the camera so I could look down. This comes with the snowman, but the snowman, when you have to have it scanned, sometimes there's not enough room for this machine to move with your project under your arm here, and so it really gets hooked up. So I like the method of where I mark it. I have the machine take a picture of it. I can look down into it, and I watch where it's going, and I move it around where I want it on my point that I marked. Hope that makes sense. I know I'm a horrible explaining. But when I do t-shirts, I put a non-cutaway fusible interfacing so there isn't a lot of puckering on my t-shirts, and I just iron that on the back of my t-shirt, and then I glue it onto here. And then before I start stitching, I always use a water soluble stabilizer on top so that your stitches stand up and look nice and crisp. And then once I'm done with the t-shirt, I always add on a fusible interfacing underneath so it doesn't bother the child or the person that's wearing it. It stays on there through washes, and so that's real nice. Those are some things to really get started. I hope those were some helpful hints. Brilliance has a free software where you can buy your fonts and you just store them in this. So I first start out in Brilliance and I'm writing what I want to put on my design. I save it into a folder on my USB, and then I pull up Sew Up Pro. I put my design in there and make it the right size for the right hoop, and then I merge in my font that I want, and I play with it in Sew What Pro. Sew What Pro I think is like $35 versus the in Brilliance, but I heard they both were good. So my pocketbook doesn't allow me to get all the expensive things. So, but that's how I start it. Once it's done, then I save it into my USB, and then I bring my USB from my laptop over here, and then I work on it in here and with my t-shirt or whatever project I have under my arm there. Has anyone told you you're special today? If not, let me be the first, because you are in God's eyes. So, and this screws on like this, and you can put your project over this, and it's right under the arm. So it's moving around like this. Where the hoops that come with it, you can't put your fabric or your t-shirt or anything over the arm. It's got to lay just right on top. So that's pretty hard to do. And with the fast frames, you just put your stabilizer, your tearaway stabilizer. I wrap mine around it, and then I use this office supply clip, I guess, that they put documents together, and it just clips right on there to hold your tearaway stabilizer on your hoop. And of course, the favorite ones I like, because when I first started, I was buying the rolls of the tearaway, and I had so much waste, just so much waste. I was throwing more of the stabilizer away. So I started buying the pre-cuts and for each of my hoops, and I like the pre-cuts so much better. There's hardly any waste for your hoops. So it's a fast frame. And this is the arm that attaches to the machine itself, and it comes with like 6 different frames. The important things of it: use a chopstick, get an extension cord so you're not plugging your USB port in all the time. Keep your fingers away from that needle, because I'm telling you, that hurt. And the software that I use on my laptop is Sew What Pro. You can get, I think it's $35. You can buy each program as you want it. I know you can buy in Brilliance, and that is pretty expensive. But you can get the in Brilliance for your fonts if you purchase fonts. There's a program in Brilliance just for fonts, and it's free. And you can do all your typing or whatever you want to put on your t-shirt in a Brilliance, save it to your flash drive, and then bring it into Sew What Pro as you kind of work at designing your designs or tweaking them or whatever you're going to do with them. So another thing I use a lot of is my 505 spray when I put my t-shirts down onto my tearaway stabilizer. I spray this little sucker and them t-shirts stay in place, and so that's good. I'm going to try to work on a t-shirt and kind of show you how I do one. I don't know if it'll be helpful, but any information's helpful, I think. So not the greatest teacher at teaching, but maybe you'll get something out of it. But anyway, what else is new? Not going to work on that quilt today. I need a break from that. So I'm going to work on a t-shirt, a little sharp t-shirt, and I will try to show you on the computer the program I use and how I bring it in and how I save it and how I work around it. Then I just put it on this thing, put it in my computer. And one other thing, I got the upgrade on my 10 needle. I wanted the camera. It comes with the snowman, but the snowman, when it scans it, this can only move so far, and you don't have a lot of room like you do on the sewing machine, and it gets stuck on your arm. So the snowman it works, but it's kind of hard at times to get it, you know, if there's not enough room under this arm. So I wanted the camera where I can zoom in and where I mark my t-shirt and I can see my mark, and that's where I want to start sewing. So I upgraded with the camera on that. So that might be something you might want to ask them about, showing you one with the camera on it. Has anyone told you you're special today? If not, let me be the first, because we are in God's eyes. Praise the Lord. Let's all go out and do something creative today, or stay home and be creative. But whatever you do, do it in the name of the Lord, and your blessings will come back to you. You guys have a good day. Do me a favor, put the like button, the thumbs up, and share my videos, and enjoy your day. God bless everybody. Have a good day. Bye-bye.